Dear students of class 10th, this is fifth video. It is related to the chapter Minerals and the Energy Resources. So in this video, we will discuss about energy resources. In very simple sentence, what we can say, the resources which are used to generate power, or you can say electricity or energy, are known as energy resources. Coal, petroleum, uranium are some of the important energy resources. Energy resources can be classified as conventional and non-conventional sources of energy. First, let us discuss about the conventional sources of energy. The literal meaning of conventional is primitive, or you can say the traditional. So we can say that these are the sources of energy which have been utilized by us since time immemorial. We can take the example of firewood, kettle dung cake, coal, petroleum, natural gas, and electricity, both hydel and thermal. Second classification is of non-conventional sources. The literal meaning of non-conventional is modern, or you can say the latest sources of energy. So we can define non-conventional sources of energy as sources of energy which have been developed in recent past, and most of them are at experimental stage. We can take the example of solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, geothermal energy, biogas, and atomic energy. Though nowadays we are talking about the non-conventional sources of energy, but in the rural India, firewood and cattle dung cake are most common source of energy. According to one estimate, more than 70% of energy requirement in rural households is met by these two sources of energy. Now we'll discuss about the conventional sources of energy. So with regard to the conventional sources of energy, these are the sources of energy which have been utilized by us since time immemorial, what I told you just now. So the most important one, what we will discuss now, that is coal. So with regard to the coal, this source of energy is the most abundantly available fossil fuel. It provides a substantial part of the nation's energy needs. It is used for power generation, to supply energy to industry, as well as for domestic needs. India is highly dependent on coal for meeting its commercial energy requirement. Coal is an inflammable organic substance composed mainly of hydrocarbons found in the form of sedimentary rocks and capable of being used as fuel to supply heat or light or both. It is also a source of raw material for the chemical industry. It is the main source of power generation in India. About 67% of the country's requirement of power is met through coal. Regarding the formation of coal, coal is formed due to decomposition of organic matter like plants and vegetation buried under the earth crust millions of years ago. Now we'll discuss about the classification of coal. Coal can be classified into different groups on the basis of carbon content. First one, that is the anthracite coal. This is the best quality of coal and contains of 80% of carbon. It is very hard, compact, and it is having a semi-metallic luster. It is found only in Jammu and Kashmir, and that too in a small quantities. Second one, bituminous. This is the most widely used coal and contains about 60 to 80% of carbon. It is dense, compact, brittle, and is usually of black color. Its calorific value is very high due to high proportion of carbon and low moisture content. Most of the bituminous coal is found in Jharkhand, Odisha, West Bengal, and Madhya Pradesh. The next one, that is lignite. So, with regard to the lignite variety of coal, is also known as brown coal. It is a lower grade coal which is soft with high moisture content and contains about 60% of carbon. Its color varies from dark to black brown. It is found in Palna of Rajasthan, Naveli of Tamil Nadu, Lakhimpur of Assam, and Kreva of Jammu and Kashmir. The last variety of the coal, that is peat coal. This is the first stage of transformation of wood into coal and contains about 50 to 60% of carbon. It burns like wood and gives less heat, emits more smoke, and leaves a lot of ash after burning. After that, we'll discuss about classification of coal fields. In India, coal occurs in rock series of two main geological ages, namely Gondwana, a little over 200 million years in age, and in tertiary deposit, which is only about 55 million years old. The major resources of Gondwana coal, which are metallurgical coal, are located in Damodar Valley, that is in the states of West Bengal and Jharkhand. Important coal fields are Jharia, Raniganj, and Bokaro. Then same variety of coal deposits we are getting in the valleys of Godavari, Mahanadi, Son, and Wardha. After that, tertiary coal. So this variety of coal we are getting in the northeastern states of Meghalaya, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, and Nagaland. After that, we will discuss about petroleum. So, with regard to the petroleum, or you can say the mineral oil, this is the next major energy source in India after coal. It provides fuel for heat and lighting, lubricants for machinery, and raw materials for a number of manufacturing industries. Petroleum refineries act as a nodal industry for synthetic textile, fertilizer, and numerous chemical industries. After that, we will discuss about occurrence of petroleum. So, with regard to the most of the petroleum occurrences in India are associated with anticline and fault traps in the rock formation of tertiary age in regions of folding anticlines or domes. It occurs where oil is trapped in the crest of the uphold. The wall-wearing layer is a porous limestone or sandstone through which oil may flow. The oil is prevented from rising or sinking by intervening non-porous layers. Petroleum is also found in fault traps between the porous and non-porous rocks. Gas being lighter usually occurs above the oil. Now we'll discuss about the production. India is not a major producer of mineral oil. The oil reserves in India are estimated to be about 4,000 million tons. India produces about 33 million tons of crude petroleum. About 63% of it is produced from Mumbai High, 18% from Gujarat, and 16% from Assam. After that, we will discuss about natural gas. So, with regard to the natural gas, it is an important clean energy found in associated with or without petroleum. It is used as source of energy as well as an industrial raw material in petrochemical industry. This is considered as an environment friendly fuel because of low carbon dioxide emission and is therefore the fuel of present century. So with regard to the reserve of natural gas has been discovered in Krishna Godavari basin. We are also getting other reserves along the west coast. The reserves of Mumbai High and allied field are supplemented by the discoveries in the Gulf of Cambay. Andaman Nicobar Islands are also important areas having large reserves of natural gas. Now let us discuss about some of the advantages of natural gas. You can see here some of the advantages have been given here. So with regard to the advantages, it can be used both as source of energy and also as an industrial raw material in petrochemical industry. It takes less time to build up a power plant based on natural gas. It is easy to transport gas through the pipeline. It is a clean energy resource because of low carbon dioxide emission. So these are some of the advantages of natural gas. And with regard to the transportation of natural gas, all of you know that it can be transported very easily through gas pipeline. We are having Hazira Vijaypur Jagdishpur pipeline length of about 1700 kilometer, which links Mumbai High and basin with the fertilizer, power and industrial complexes in western and northern India. This artery has provided an impetus to India's gas production. The power and fertilizer industries are the key users of natural gas. Use of compressed natural gas for vehicles to replace liquid fuels is gaining wide popularities in the country. After that, we will discuss about electricity. Electricity plays a dominant role in the industrial and agricultural development of the country. Consumption of electricity is a barometer of nation's economic well-being and standard of living of its people. Availability of abundant and cheap electricity means rapid growth of industry and agriculture, which leads to economic prosperity. So with regard to the generation of electricity, it can be generated mainly in two ways: by running water, which drives hydro turbine to generate hydroelectricity, and by burning fuels such as coal, petroleum and natural gas to drive turbines to produce thermal power. So with regard to the hydroelectricity, is a renewable resource. India has a number of multi-purpose projects like Bhakra Nagal, Damodar Valley Corporation. Then, with regard to the thermal electricity, this is generated by using coal, petroleum, and natural gas. These thermal power plants are using non-renewable sources of energy for generating electricity. There are over 310 thermal power plants in India. You can see this map. This is a map is showing you the thermal power plants in our country. So remaining part, that is about the non-conventional sources of energy, we will discuss in the next video.